Zambia is earmarked to benefit from the Commonwealth Climate Finance Access Hub to manage climate adaptation and mitigation activities. Commonwealth Secretary-General Patricia Scotland says she is optimistic that Zambia will yet again stand out in the fight against climate change. Ms. Scotland said this to znbc's Mary Mwiikisa at the ongoing cop26 climate change conference in Glasgow, Scotland. Meanwhile, Green Economy and Environment Minister Collins Ndzovu has called upon countries responsible for the 80% of the world's pollution to rise to the challenge. Here is a report.
We need financial help because what the subjects have is not enough to sustain them.
She is attending the COP26. Chieftainess Muwezwa, the first of Itezhi district, understands that tackling climate change requires finances.
We have seen droughts, we have seen floods, but most members of the community, they do not understand, they do not connect this to climate change.
The Commonwealth Climate Finance Access Hub has been set up for this very reason.
This is our opportunity, not only to talk, but to do. So what we're doing with the Climate Finance Access Hub, what we're doing in terms of the common sensing, what we're doing in terms of the disaster portal, all of these issues and the development of the Universal Vulnerability Index, that is what we need to continue to do to deliver the change, to be the change that we need to be in order to make the difference. And Zambia has always been a shining light in Africa.
The Zambian delegation, led by Minister of Green Economy and Environment, is seizing every opportunity to meet key stakeholders.
Zambia also recognizes that we are in a critical state right now. We do not have time. There's a song of achieving 1.50 by 2030. Net zero by 2050. We are already off target. Through her office again, we appeal to her to impress on the developed world, 20% who account for about 80% of the emissions, to up the ambitions.
In some real good news, the Norwegian government has tripled its support to African countries to fight the impacts of climate change, while the US and Canada have pledged to meeting the climate adaptation budgets, among other pledges. Now, this news has elated the Zambian government, which is literally here to source for grants as opposed to borrowing.
Johan Chaudhary, in charge of country engagement of the Global Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs, has proposals on how Africa can look within herself to meet several climate budgets.
We can aggressively increase the tax revenue collection. Second, we can do inter-budgetary transfer, meaning social sector resources going to climate financing.
The COP26 is so far meeting one of its major targets, a $100 billion annually for Africa. Mary Mwiikisa, znbc News, Glasgow, Scotland.